Let's continue talking about our viewing our Microsoft Outlook window workspace. Now, as you recall, each one of the views of our folders has its own distinct look. Anything that I do to my inbox, for example, I will shorten up my receive column really small, and if I go to my sent folder, you'll notice it takes on its own properties. So anything I do to this view in my sent folder will not affect any other of my folder views. So as we go back to our inbox, let's go ahead and widen that up a bit. And for ease, since I don't use this mention, I'm just going to right click on that and remove it. So now I can't sort by mention simply by clicking. Now we can manage all of our views underneath our Change View button of the ribbon as we say Manage Views. You'll notice the three default views that Outlook gives us. Right now we are working with the single view. Let's modify that a bit, and you will be seeing some items that look very familiar. Let's modify this view for this particular folder, my inbox. Advanced view settings for single, and this again only applies to my inbox. These are all the defaults that Outlook gives me. I can modify each one of these properties to how I want messages to come in and be sorted. First, we've already talked about the columns. We've seen this kind of layout before on adding and subtracting particular fields. So if I would like to add a carbon copy, I can do that. And notice where it comes in at, down at the bottom. If I want it right underneath importance, I will do that. Let's close out of here real quick and I'll show you what happens. You notice the change. The carbon copy column shows up. Let's go back into Manage that view, Single, Modify, Columns, and I'm going to get rid of that. So again, Outlook gives you available columns from frequently used fields, address fields, date time fields, all document fields, all mail fields, or if you're not sure, look underneath all post fields. And that will give you everything that you can sort by. In my humble opinion, we'll close out of here, I would suggest that you select the fields that you sort from the most. Most people will be sorting by receive date, from, or subject. Good mailbox management should allow you the ability to find the message you are looking for. And what you are doing with the view and managing here, in my opinion, is making more work for you than you need. So let's continue looking at all of these settings. If you would like to have your messages grouped, you can do that. I will show you what happens when we group by, say, subject. It's ascending. Notice down here, what I can select here is affected by how I select here. By default, Outlook says, I will show you all the frequently used fields. But if you want to have all document fields, I'll select that, and now it's going to give me all document fields. So again, Outlook is doing a lot of the work for you by suggesting what do you want to look for in that. So we're going to sort by default my inbox by messages by subject. Okay, okay, okay. So now you'll notice all these gray bars are the subjects. So every time a message comes in, if it doesn't have a subject, it will be right up top here because this message to my friend Greg did not have a subject. Everything else is alphabetized. So it starts out with, are these your droids? And it continues all the way down to a you're invited as a subject. Again, I particularly care for the simplicity of having my messages come in and have them be sorted by when they are received. So let's continue looking at our manage views, our single, our modify. We're going to take this group off because I don't care for that, and I'm going to change this back to none. Okay. Now you notice that I just changed my sort by descending. Again, you can set this here or simply by clicking on the columns bar. Right now, they are just being sorted by received. If I would like to have further sorting, for example, I will do subject. Now it's going to be sorted by when they come in and then alphabetized. I don't think I need that much. I'm just going to stick by received. And you saw also I could have 2 more layers of sorting. The filter, again, this is way more work than what you need to do in my humble opinion. If you're looking for something, you can look for that in a simple search. But this particular setting within Outlook sorts your messages as they come in looking for certain words. And you can see Outlook gives you basically a walkthrough of how you want your messages to be sorted by certain filters such as words or subjects or who they come from. Again, in my humble opinion, more work than you need to sort your messages, but those options are there. Cancel out of there. Our other settings, again, this only applies to the current field folder, my inbox. Simple things like how big do you want the column fonts be, visual things which you can set up. I don't feel a need to walk through those. These are personal preferences that you can do. Our conditional formatting, again, more work for you to set up if you want Outlook to do the work for you. Rules for this particular view. We have unread messages, unread group headers, submitted, all the way down. You can even set the font. How our columns are formatted. You'll notice that all of our columns here, for example, my importance has a bitmap with a pop-up list. You can change that to text with a pop-up list. Let's take a look at that. So you see we kind of lost a little bit there. In my opinion, that doesn't look exactly right because I like that view with that icon. I just kind of like that look a little bit better. Notice where the alignment is. You can note how wide it is, and you can walk through each one of the columns that you can format a little bit differently. Again, these are all personal preferences. Walk through them. I find the default settings just fine. And I'm going to cancel out of that. So those were the settings for the single view. Now, if I would like, I could copy this single view and make a whole new view. If I copy that, I will call this Mats. And now, once again, I could walk through and set up a view called Mats based on any one of these properties. I can reset that. So let's just, for example, take a few of these off. So right now, I will say OK, and I will change my view to Mats. Not a whole lot different, but I could do that. So during this tutorial, we have walked through managing our views. We have showed you each one of the columns and how to format them as your messages come in. The takeaway from this particular unit is that the view is particular to a specific folder. In this case, your inbox, your sent, your drafts, whatever you have. as folders within your Outlook.